Hi everyone, this is the video for Calculus 1 at College of the Atlantic to be watched before the first class of week 1. So last time in class, after introducing the course, we spent a little bit of time on linear functions. And we concluded with some field markings, guidelines, characteristics for what linear functions might look like. And remember, we can describe functions 4 different ways. One is graphically. And so a linear function, what does a graph of a linear function look like? Well, not shockingly at all. Graph is a line. If we have a table of numbers, here might be x, here would be f of x. The main thing is that the changes in the function are the same. So we go from 3 to 4, we increase by 5. We go from 4 to 5, we increase by 5. We can take that statement and translate it into words. And so there's a constant increase or decrease. So for every step forward, the function goes up or down by the same amount. And so in a word problem, if we were describing this function using a sentence, the key word might be something like something increases by $1 every 2 days. Or in class we had, I think, enrollment in a course decreasing by 7 every 4 days. So something that indicates a constant increase or decrease tells you that you'll have a linear function. And then we can also specify a function with an equation. And the equation of a line is f of x equals mx plus b, or y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the intercept. And this is really the only formula you need to have in your head for lines. There might be some other ones you've learned in algebra pre-calc, but you can use this formula to figure out everything you need to know about a line, because this is a line. So what I want to do for the rest of this video is just show you a quick example of how you can use this equation and a little bit of detective work to solve some problems. So here's an example. Suppose we want to find the equation of the line that passes through the points 2, minus 3, and 4, 5. So 2 points geometrically determine a line. Let's figure out what that line is, what the equation is for the line. So since it's a line, we know that the equation, well, is f of x equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. So let's figure out the slope, m, first. So m, that's the slope. And that's how much y changes over how much x changes, which we could also write y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So let's plug in some numbers, right? This is an x and y pair, this is an xy pair. So let's plug in and see what we get. So I'll take this as 2 and this as 1. This will be the second point, this will be the first point. Doesn't matter which one you choose. So 5 minus 3 over 4 minus 2. So 5 minus minus, that's the same as plus. So this is 5 plus 3 over 2. And 5 plus 3 is 8. And 8 over 2 is 4. So we know that m equals 4. So we're halfway there. We need to figure out m and b to figure out the equation. And we've gotten m. Pretty good. So what can we do to get b? Well, we have a lot of different choices, but the way I like to solve this is to first write out this formula, plugging in the value of m we just had. So let's see. So how can we find b? So I'll move up here, and I'm just going to plug in m equals 4. So now I know that whatever this line is, its equation is 4x plus something. And I want to figure out what that something is. So to do that, I'm going to plug in one of these pairs of points, because 2 is x, minus 3 is f of x. I could plug in 4 and 5. I'll do the first one. Again, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to use the information given here in red. So f of 2, let's how to write this. So I guess I'll just plug in right away. Minus 3 is 4 times 2 plus b. And then I'm going to solve for b. So to do that, minus 3, 4 times 2 is 8. Let's move the 8 over to the minus to the other side by subtracting 8 from each side. Minus 3 minus 8 equals b. Minus 3 minus 8, well, that's minus 11. So there we found b. So that means that the formula for this function, the one that goes through those 2 points, is 4x minus 11. So that's the answer to this problem. We could do this at the beginning. You could do this once you've solved it. Could make a really quick sketch. Let's see if, I guess I'll do this in red. Let's see 2, I go over 2, down 3, so that's a point 2 minus 3. I go over 4, up 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be the point 4, 5. Let's label these. That's x. That's f of x. And if I draw a straight line, let's see if I can do this. The pressure is getting to me. There we go. So we can see that these numbers 4 and 11 seem reasonable. If I go over 1, I go up 4, over 1, up 4, and a fairly large and negative intercept, that would be b, also seems reasonable. And if you want, you could draw a sketch like this before you started doing this algebra, if that's if it helps you to sort of see things. So the main point of this example is that this is really the only formula you need to know about lines. So you should know what lines are, what the graphs look like, the key words, how to find it in a table of numbers. But this is the only equation that you need to know, because once you know this equation, you can figure out everything else you need to know. You can figure out the slope, you can figure out b. If you've learned a point slope formula for a line, there's no need to remember it, because this gets you everything that you could possibly need. So in class, we'll do I'll have you do a very quick example like this, and then we'll start talking about exponential functions. So we'll see you Monday at 1.